Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be replacing a thermostat in a 2002 Toyota Avalon. If you're new to this channel, what I do here is automotive repairs and I give you advice based on my experience. So if you find this interesting, please consider subscribing. Without further ado, let's get right to it and replace that thermostat my way, the quick way. Stay tuned.
Alright, so everyone has their own ways of doing things. However, I've done this thermostat on this particular engine multiple times. The reason why replacing this thermostat is because on this one, the car's temperature is actually a little bit higher than usual. We think it's the thermostat that's getting stuck closed or partially closed. So I'm going to go ahead and replace it, but I've been actually letting the engine run for a while, see how actually hot it gets, and I drove it and it just stuck it around at a temperature about 211 degrees, give or take. It should be right somewhere around 195 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, we're gonna shut the engine off. We're gonna put a pan underneath the radiator, open up the petcock valve and let it drain. The thermostat is located right over here. We're gonna go ahead and take off this top cover, remove those three 6mm Allen bolts, take the top of the air cleaner box off, remove some of the hoses and pull some of the cables back and whatever is in the way so that we can access that thermostat housing. Alright, so right here we've taken the top of our air filter box off with the tubing. We can access the area pretty good now. We disconnected some of these hoses like the evap hose. Whatever you have to move out of the way so you can access this thermostat housing real well. We have three 10mm nuts that are holding this housing along with this 12mm bolt that's bolted to the side of the cylinder head. We're gonna take that off and that'll give us allow a room to pull on this pipe and we can put this thermostat in. Here's our thermostat from Toyota, and it also comes with the thermostat gasket. We have to put this thermostat gasket around it, and we're gonna go ahead and take that off. So here we have taken off all three nuts and the one bolt that holds that pipe, and as you see we disconnected the harness, got that out the way, and took one bolt that goes in here, and then we're gonna go ahead and push. We're gonna go ahead and push out, and then we're gonna push back, and that pipe should come right out. Okay, so as you see, we've taken off the thermostat in here. It's very tricky to take it out, but it's actually even more of a pain in the butt to put it back in. So it's a pain, but it's not impossible. So we put the gasket on the new thermostat. We're gonna go ahead and put the thermostat in. The thermostat goes in this way, and remember, you want this valve right here, you want it to face up, so you want this to be on the top side, okay, when you put it in. Otherwise, if you're having a hard time taking this off, you're actually gonna have to go and take off the bottom part of the airbox. Then the starter has to come off as well as the battery. So as you see, this will turn into like an hour job, hour and a half, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, it's your preference, whatever you want to do. I've gotten used to doing these without taking the starter off. So it's all about patience. You know, when you used to work on a dealership working flat rate, you find tricks and shortcuts that you could, you know, make it work to your advantage and make more money. In this scenario, I just honestly don't see why taking off the starter when I've done this probably more than 20 times doing it this way. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the thermostat in now. Okay, and our thermostat is now back in.
I went ahead and put the hose back on, put the connector back on. I think that was a coolant temp sensor, I'm not sure. We're gonna go ahead and plug that hose in right there. Put top of our air box back in, our air cleaner. Button up those throttle body hoses, put everything in the way it was, and as I'm doing that, so I don't waste no time, I got coolant going into the engine right now. So it's a good time. It's a good way to actually do things at once. That way, when we're ready over here to button everything up, we could just pretty much start this thing up, let it run, and you're one step ahead. So let's get this thing started.
Alright, so this thermostat job is now done. I've actually filled it up with coolant, had it running about for a half hour. Temperature is great, right to 190 degrees before the thermostat opened up, and it maintained that we're at 190. Coolant hoses are now good in temperature. The overflow is actually getting ready to be topped off. I'm gonna take this funnel off.
Alright, so after watching this video, you may have found this to be an easy way or a hard way. However, I've done this repair multiple times and I know which shortcuts to take. I don't have to remove the air cleaner box, I don't have to remove the battery, and I don't have to remove the starter, and a couple other things here in the way. Remember, when you remove your battery, you're gonna have to go ahead and reset the stations, radio stations back on, your clock, a couple of things here and there. That's why I find this the quick way. Anyways, if you like this video, consider subscribing, thumbs up, hit that bell notification icon if you want to get notified more times when I post a new video. As always, thanks a lot for educating yourself and making progress. Best to you.